To assemble the landing gear mount, you need 2 of these airframe mounts. You're going to need 2 zip ties, 4 spacers, 1/2 inch, 2 number 6 by 1.25 inch machine screws, 4 washers, and 2 nuts. You'll also need 4 of these gussets. These are the landing gear mount to airframe gussets. To get started, I like to take 1 machine screw, go ahead and load up 1 washer, grab any of the 4 gussets, make sure you put the head of the machine screw inside, not on the outside. Put it on the inside. Then you're going to grab one of your frame mounts and you're going to line it up with one of these outside holes, and you're going to put one of your 1/2 inch washers, one of your 1/2 inch spacers, and then you're going to line it up with the hole on the opposite side, and you grab another gusset and make sure that these channels line up all the way through. Go ahead and load up 1 more washer, grab your nut, secure it in place, run that down snug, and do the other side. Now that we have those installed, you can go ahead and grab another 1/2 inch spacer and line it up with the holes in the airframe mount and run your zip tie through. Go ahead and grab your other one. Put the head on the opposite side. Run that zip tie through. Again, I like to make that head just stick over the edge there. And line it up. Pull it tight. Same thing on this side. That head just stick over the edge. Zip tie. Pull it tight. Grab your side cutters, wire cutters, flush against the head of the zip tie so it's not going to cut anybody. Both sides. Not going to cut anybody. There you have your landing gear airframe mount completed. Go ahead and do that 1 more time. Now we're going to assemble the landing gear to make a complete unit. You'll need 2 complete assemblies of the landing gear legs and 1 airframe mount. You'll need number 64 rubber bands. You'll only need 2. 1, there's 2. I like to pre-stretch those. Just makes it easier, I think. So for this assembly, you're going to need 6 of these short fat washers. These are the 0.185 thickness. You'll need 6 of those. You'll need a number 6 by 32 by 1.25 inch machine screw, 2 washers, 2 nuts. You'll need 2 of those screws, by the way. Let's go ahead and get started. I like to dry fit just so I can visualize how it's going to go. And you can see there I have one of these legs on the inside and one on the outside. So you can imagine now, you can probably see it, visualize it, that the spaces, these gaps in the middle, is where those washers go. I'm going to go ahead and load up 3 of them so you can see. Okay, here you can see I've installed 3, and you can see that gap in there. I really wouldn't worry about that. In your first build, don't be concerned about it so much. If you decide to make any design changes in the future to compensate or change or fix that, just make sure you speak to it in your report and discuss why you think changing that helped you out. So here you can see the completed side. I have one side complete, 3 washers, machine screw with a washer, run through the assembly, and washer and nut, fiber locking nut. You don't want to run that down so tight that this can't flex. I'm going to go ahead and get the other one installed, and I'll show you how to do the rubber bands. Be sure when you line up your other set, be sure it's in the same plane, not opposite. Unless, of course, for some reason, you decide to run it like that. If you're not going to do it per the print, or per the drawings, or per the video, and you decide somewhere along the line that this really works for you, just make sure you annotate that in your report, why you thought that was a good configuration to try. Personally, I've never tried it. I just keep it like that. Okay, so if we're installing the rubber bands, you just double them over like that. I like to use a spare zip tie. Not behaving now. Okay, so double them over, spare zip tie. Expose the teeth down here in the bottom. I go ahead and insert one of them and then run the zip tie through the body. Pull that through, over, and onto the other side. Could get a little precarious, so just take your time. There we go. Got the shock absorber installed. Now do that to the other side. Okay, now we got both of the rubber bands installed. We have one assembly complete. Now go ahead and do that one more time for the opposite side. I have both sides here. And you can see when you install them onto the aircraft, be sure and install them such that the legs are mounted furthest to the outside. Like this hasn't worked for me. Like this hasn't worked for me. This seems to work best. Just making sure that these are on the outside.